All right. Thanks for still being there. Daybreak Show, Rock City 101.9 FM here in the city of Abeokuta. Yes, another edition. Another opportunity for us to discuss issues that has straight, meaningful, direct effect on what we do on that daily basis. Citizens Forum on the show. Dele Ayodo is my name.
And my name is Chienye. Good morning and welcome to the Citizens Forum. And today on the Citizens Forum, we're looking at the menace of the herdsmen attack and what the states have actually done about it. And this issue has become a global concern. And the herdsmen crisis remains a major issue in Nigeria. So far, we have thousands that have been killed and many more have been expelled from their homes. And some have said the Nigerian government is not even willing to initiate any forceful action against this group of people. Rather, pieces of land are being requested for to provide a permanent feeding ground for the rampaging herdsmen. Cattle rearers have a vast population and their presence in almost every state across the country. And we have problems or issues that come up from that, as trespassing farmlands. They also destroy crops as well as valuables. And then even some of the farmers are overpowered and injured and killed, while some are evicted from their homes. The herdsmen are accused of taking the opportunity of raping, stealing, raising houses, and killing innocent members of these communities. And then I worked on the statistics too, provided by an Institute of Economics and Peace. In 2014, we had about 1,229 people who were killed. That's the herdsmen attack when we had an issue then in year 2014. Then in year 2013, we have 63. That was above what we had in 2014. Then in 2015, over 100 farmers and their family members were also massacred. And we still have the same issue happening right here, late last year and early this year.
Arguably, the issue of the herdsmen has become the most potent security challenge for the government and security agents in this country. Yes, so that we won't fall into the mistake that was made when the issue of Yusuf in about 2007 and his set started, and people began to trivialize it and call it mere ragtag criminals. I'm talking about the Boko Haram, which eventually become one of the world's deadliest potent terrorist organization today. And the country has spent so much in terms of life, money, and efforts being made to quell the menace of this Boko Haram. We are back at it again. Some people will say or may think that unlike states like Benue, Kaduna, Plateau, Taraba, and Adamawa that have seriously been battered and battling with this issue of these herdsmen, Ogun is not immune. We have serious potent cases. Life have been lost, property destroyed in the Yewa houses of the state. And just about 10 days ago, I got a report from Dele, whose farm was invaded around Alabata area of the state capital. This is a story many of the farmers in the state will tell. So it's not just an issue for Benue, it's also an issue for us here in Ogun State. But let me be careful at this point, and I want us to please follow me in this line. It's not just, or it's not about a particular tribe. People will colorize it and say Fulani herdsmen. But a criminal is a criminal. I am very sure those of us who are old enough in this state, who have mixed with these cattle rearers, we call them, we know that we have lived together. That's how they were able to settle down in those areas in the state. In Yewa, they become members of the community. They speak Yoruba fluently and other dialects in that. So I don't think it's proper to refer to it as any particular group, but simply is a menace, is an issue that the security agency, governments across this country must tackle. Ekiti is trying to do something, whether it's the right thing or not, but they've taken steps. Benue, despite the step taken, we can still see that they are still battling it seriously. Taraba is trying to copy it. Plateau, Nasarawa, all these states are taking something. Has Ogun done anything? What is Ogun doing? That is the question. But we also understand that at the House of Assembly here in Ogun State, there is a bill in the House aimed at solving this menace of this herdsmen. Well, what are the content, the details of this bill? How effective is it going to be? How would they implement it? At what stage is that bill? This is what we'll be looking at in detail this morning. And we have a member of the Ogun House of Assembly, the man who actually initiated that bill. He represents Ifo II State's constituency. Let's welcome Ganiyu Oyedeji, a member of the Ogun State House of Assembly, to the program. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
First, can you educate us on what the content of that bill is?
Okay. Thank you once again. Like, you really pointed out the menace of these herdsmen is becoming critical throughout the country, and Ogun State, like Riley said, is not immune to that, and that's explained why I came up with this bill. And the focus of this bill actually, because it came as a result of complaint from all parts of the state, from the farmers, the residents in all these areas, on the activities of these herdsmen. And that explains why we put this together to be able to see how to address that. And what we are focusing on, in the bill, is to be able to stop a situation in which the cattle rearer will be moving, land, with their cattle without any regulations and all that. We want a situation in which we can at least encourage those who want to, do that kind of a business, to have a ranch in which they will, be able to stop this movement of cattle from one place to the other. And the study has also shown to us that even if you have your cattle in one place, you feed them and all that, it's also going to, get more in terms of nutrition values and all that. Most of all these things we've been able to get. And it is our belief that with this bill, we have a scenario in which, okay, even if you have to move the cattle, it will not be through on the ground. Maybe you may have to move it through the vehicle. During the certain period of time during the, not during the day, maybe in the night, you want to move from one ranch to the other. So the basic thing first is, to allow them to be able to have their own ranch, okay, in which they will, and the private investors too, because like you said, this thing is not just about the Fulani or one tribe or the other, because we find a situation in which some people who are not even from the northern part of the country, from the southern part of the country, are also into this cattle rearing business and all that. So, and it will not be right for you to have your own business and to start disturbing others. Disturbing others in the sense that if somebody has a farm, he has cultivated the farm, he has nurturing the farm to the extent that it's now time for the farm to, get the benefit of that investment, and you just see the cattle coming in and destroy all this farmland. So we believe that with this bill, by the time it is passed, all this will be solved. The cattle rearer will know their limit, the farmer will know what is expected of them, and all this problem we have from the northern part of the country, we don't want it in Ogun State. That is the aim.
Okay, so at what stage is this bill, and how effective would it be?
Yes, the bill actually has passed through the first reading, the second reading. We have actually done the public hearing. So it's just at the last stage. I'm sure anytime from now, by the time we resume at the next sitting, I'm sure that the bill will become a law, will be passed by the House.
How effective will the bill be?
Well, we believe, from the input we've been able to get from, especially during the public hearing, because, everybody were all there, even the Meyeti Allah, all of them were there, they have their own input. So it is our belief that at least it's going to be effective in at least preventing the kind of problem we are having in other parts of the country as of now.
Do we have a control as to the influx of herdsmen that come into the state?
Well, we don't have now, but it's also part of that bill that we want to, a situation in which by the time they are coming in, we want to be able to at least have information about, because we from from the fact finding, we find a situation in which even when they come in, you see some of them will come in with maybe 10, 15, 20 cattle. Okay, but by the time they are going out, they become 50, 100 and all that. So, but at the port of entry, we want to, the Minister of Agriculture that will be in charge of, implementing this law will have some people that will take record of some of these people when they are coming in, how many, what is their particulars, how many cattle are they coming in and all that. And at the same time, when they are going out of the state, then you'll be able to at least monitor. It's not just a question of you come in from with this and you are going out with that without any reason on why that kind of numbers. Is it increasing just by being within the state or whatever we want to find out? And we believe that that is also called this menace of, because they too are also complaining that maybe the stealing, our people too, also kill their
that's the point I want to come in. Now, we may not be able to decide exactly how effective it's going to be until we begin to practice. If you look at the other examples from states like Benue, they thought they've had it wrapped up, Nasarawa and Plateau. One thing, did your bill consider, if you say cattle ranch, land will be allocated for these people? Do you consider what the thoughts, perception of the original landowners, the community will be? How will you convince them, or are they going to sell the land that will become a ranch? So how would that work out? Have you thought of that?
Yes,
because this is another area that will lead to conflict.
Actually, that's the key area that even our own people too, they are being careful when it comes to this issue of cattle rearing, because of this belief that the expansion tendencies from by these peoples and all that. But our belief is that if you want to have ranch, you must be ready to get your land. Okay, the Ministry of Agriculture will be the one that will allocate. You have to apply that you need a land, you get the land, the size you need, and all these things will be given to you. Okay, and the license will be given to you that okay, they allocate this size of the land to you, and you know that that is for you. So okay, so it's not just allow you to take as many as you want, or you take what does not really belong to you. I remember part of the input we got from some of the traditional institutions in the state concerning this, that even if we have them in the area, they are even advising that we should ensure that the bill take care of this issue of maybe having a traditional institution within where they stay, that we should prevent that. Okay, that they should
they're becoming like a chieftaincy.
The chieftaincy we now have our own. Know that if you are within a certain area and you already have a traditional institution, you subject yourself to that traditional institution. So those are part of the check and balances we put there, because from experience they know that by the time they do not think that they are on their own, their community on their own, and they cannot be checked. So summarily, what we are saying is that if you need a land, you get what you need, that will be in line with what you can afford. based on the number of maybe the cattle you want to rears and all that. That's what will determine what will be given to you. So it's not going to just going to be free, because I mean you are going to get profit from whatever.
MP Oyedeji. Yeah. Now you will apply through the ministry or through the state government. That means certificate of occupancy will be issued. Yeah. 2, you are expected to move your cattle, not by foot, but by vehicle.
Yes.
If this is going to happen, then bureaucracy will come in. In the process of applying, you collect form, you wait for this. We all know what it means getting CL4. How will you react to those who will say, with these 2 situations, processes in the bill appears elitist and may be difficult to implement?
Well, I don't agree with that, because, you know, getting land, I mean, in Ogun State now, I don't think it's as difficult as that, because you are talking about, okay, having ranch is what we are discussing now, but I'm aware that people get land for different other purposes, agricultural purposes in the state, either to, I mean, plant cassava, to have rice, to have all these things. At least they allocate land.
I know people who've applied for land for agriculture since 2012 and have not gotten it.
Oh, well, I've not.
I know people, I have people since 2012.
Well, maybe I will not be the one to at least speak for.
You know, I'm looking at the practicality of this, because we are looking at how effective, not just a paper thing.
Yes.
So that's why I'm putting all this.
For this one, I'm sure that it will work, because even the bill is not just by the Ministry of Agri themselves alone. The bill also talk about the local government, the SCDA. Okay, they will also be involved in allocation. I mean, allocating this land and getting it out to them. Okay, so the question of maybe the CFO and all those things sometimes have to come later. The question now is, okay, you've been allocated this land. Do you have the necessary facilities that you have where with that to be able to do what you say you want to do? So if they find out that you have all these things as far as what you intend to do is concerned, then it will be allocated to you.
Let's look at another side of the problem created by this, as by the security issue. Part of the complaints or issues by those who felt disrupted by these herdsmen activities is that when they go to the police or security to report, nothing is done. On the part of the security, the police, there are several complaints. Most times these things are really in the bush. Getting there becomes a problem. Even effecting an arrest at that point becomes a problem. Prosecuting them or punishing them becomes a problem. These are issues that are there now. Did this bill consider these issues?
Certainly.
Or how would this bill take care of these issues?
Certainly. You know, the implementing of the security aspect, you should recall that, I mean, like you already said, that there have been different perceptions based on what people know about these people, the way they behave. I mean, rightly or wrongly, you see people attributing this because they belong to this particular tribe. That is why people are overlooking what they do or what they did not do.
And punishing them. They are close to
seat of powers, and you know, we've had a lot of information about that. But we believe that, I mean, the security system we still have in the country, if there is a law in place and somebody has violated that law, I believe the police or the necessary security agencies will have to do their job. You know, it's different from, okay, even if there is no law, nothing to guide them for now, then you cannot really blame them. Maybe sometimes if they didn't do what they're supposed to do. But if everybody now know that, okay, this is what is expected of you, this is what you need to do, and they now refuse to do what they will do, I'm sure even in the news, these days, even the one they are saying that even the federal government is not doing, we've been seeing that at least because of the problem that is there now. Something is being done because we all know that this is a problem and it needs to be solved. So, and there is no way the security agencies will just overlook the need to act when they need to do that.
Okay, we're looking at the possibilities now of this very bill. Can we also look at the other side, the problems it might posit?
Well, the problem will be there. The problem you can first is what it will solve. Then the problem it will create.
Because if we're creating this bill now, we're targeting educated people, and we know the headsmen were not all that educated. So how do you hope to go about this? And then language barrier too.
Well, if you look at the people behind these cattle rearers, I don't think you can't say they are not educated, because if you, I recall during the public hearing, they have their representative there. They speak good English, they marshal their point, they tell us what they want and how they can continue to have peace. Some of them have been within, even in Ogun State. Some of them were born here, especially in the Yoruba side. They've been around for a long time. Maybe the one or two people that are the one moving, they may be the one that doesn't, but he has somebody who puts the person there. So, and those are the people we are talking to. So, and by the time we are able to get the buy-in of those people there, I'm sure the other people that are there that we may say that may not be educated will actually fall in line, because they are also subject to their leaders or the owner of whatever they are moving about. So that is the thinking. I know that for them too is going to be a problem, because you know that they are used to moving this cattle all over the place. They are not particular about what what this cattle will eat. So their own anything goes, whether it's your own farm, my own farm, it doesn't really matter to them. And you are trying to say, sorry, you can't use your own to disturb others. So by the time they have, that is the aspect that it will be difficult for them a little bit. But by the time we get their own buying into that, and from what they are also saying too, they also, agree with the fact that it cannot continue like that. Okay, that you cannot just continue to use your own to destroy others. But what they are also saying is that, okay, they also need some assistance, the government backing, the government assistance, the way the government has been supporting the rice farmer, the way the government has been supporting the cassava farmer and all this, that they also need that kind of support, okay, from the government to be able to do some of all these things. So I know that from whatever we have, it was to be a win-win situation at the end of the day.
Let's look at the victims too now. Those who got their farmlands, their properties destroyed by the cattle. How do you heal their wounds? Compensation. How do they feel that government has done something for them? Justice now.
You mean the one before or after?
No, we are talking of
after the bill. Yeah, after the what we, the bill actually take care of that, because first, if you are saying that you can't be using your cattle to go and destroy other people's farm, if after the bill become operational and you now do that, we have a way of saying that, okay, the ministry, the Ministry of Agriculture, they have how to really find out what as to value what maybe some of these cattle must have destroyed on your farm, what is the cause, or what is it, so that we'll be able to pay them, okay, whatever they must have lost through this, okay. And the penalty for the defaulter too is also specified in the bill, for those who refuse to follow the law. So we already have it there that they will actually be compensated by the government, by the state, Okay.
So it's the state who will compensate.
But not that the state will pay. It is the defaulter that will pay, because if you are caught, you will be prosecuted, and by the time you are prosecuted, what the law says that should be the compensation for for the victim now have to be paid by the defaulter, but that has to be given by the court, not
the person. All right, yes, Daybreak Show, Rock City 101.9 FM. In the city of Abuja Citizens Forum this morning, we are looking at what has become the most potent security challenge to government and security agencies in Nigeria, the menace of herdsmen all over the country. And we ask the question, what is Ogun doing? We have a member of parliament, a member of the Ogun State House of Assembly here with us, member representing Ifo II State constituency, Ganiyu Oyedeji. He has a bill in the House of Assembly that thinks will handle this problem. Now, MP Oyedeji, all these that we will saying are long-term solutions, attempt to solve the problem. As we speak, I'm sure there will be people who are falling victim. Like I said just 10 days ago, they will had this one at Alabata. These kind of people, those who witnessed this problem, how do we, as a short-term solution, what is the assembly, or what are people like you thinking?
Well, for those who fall victim, if I want to speak from the assembly side, if you fall victim of things like that, we can only work on it if you get across to us, maybe through petitions or whatever. Okay, this is what has been done. If you know those who have done it and all this, you send such petition to the house.
Most times or sometimes they don't really know who did it. Well, you just get to your farm and then
don't organize.
you are back that the farm is gone.
Okay, what I'm talking about from the assembly side. But if that is criminal now, if you have issue like that, what people can do is to report such to the police.
But they've been reporting, and in fact, the truth is, many of these people, I don't want to say all of them, have lost faith in the security's ability, the police, yes, or anybody to do anything.
That is why we are having this bill. That's why we are having this law. But the state is also, having a kind of meetings between all these menace and the community within those areas to be able to also, like you said, the time being to be able to resolve some of these issues, because they know themselves, So states continue to do that from time to time to ensure that you continue to have that peaceful coexistence within the system. So what I can assure, say it for now is that we'll continue to explore that avenue that the state is doing to ensure that peaceful coexistence between them continue. If you have any issues, you can report to that committee either through your representative or through your Miyati Allah or whatever, or through the farmer associations or whatever, or maybe the community associations. You can report, and maybe by the time they now meet again, they raise some of all this issue and they resolve it. That's one. The other one is, you report to the police, although you have your people have their misgiving that even when they report to the police be able to do anything, because they may not have been able to kick or to arrest anybody.
Okay, it's another thing to report, it's another thing to act. On the part of the assembly, when they report, how long will this take for you people to act? For the assembly to act?
Immediately you have a petition from them, we'll invite the people involved, and we see how we resolve it as quickly as this is a very potent this thing that is like a bomb that everybody has to be on. So we don't joke with such petition if we receive it.
My other question is this: some people, after listening to you, will say, "Okay, beautiful talk, fine packaging, but they will remember Benue State had similar beautifully packaged laws and thought it would solve the problem. They will remember Nasarawa State and they will remember events in the Ekiti State and will say all these talks and laws and all these things has not solved it. So why should we trust this one? Why should we be optimistic that this one? What is the special difference between yours and these other people?
Well, the thing is that the fact that others has not been able to achieve the desired results does not mean that we have to stop from doing something. Okay, we have to do something. We have to improve on what other people are doing. And I want to believe that the special thing from our own side is that we try to also listen to their side. I mean, to the Katuriara people too, to also get what they want, how we can find a middle of the road approach between, it's one thing to just say that, okay, everything is against the Katuriara, everything is against the Katuriara people, but the in thing from what we are doing is to be able to now, we've listened to them, the public hearing, and we start to accommodate their own too into the bill. That is what the difference that I think that this will work better, because like I said, in legislative something, we compare notes, we all learn from each other, we improve on whatever other people are doing, and I'm sure that as it's going, definitely we'll be able to at least get to the end of this problem. By God grace.
Okay, that will be it for the first leg on the Citizens Forum on the Daybreak Show on Rock City 101.9 FM. But before we take the break for the national news at 10, start sending those questions via the short code dial 32120. First you type rock, then you leave a space, type your message, include your name and forward it to 32120. For the Twitter handle, tweet at Rock City FM and the Facebook fan page, Rock City 101.9 FM. We'll still have in the studio Ganiyu Oyedeji after the national news at 10. Stay with us.
Okay, it's good to know that you are still there listening to Rock City 101.9 FM in the city of Abeokuta, the voice of the people. Citizens Forum this morning, looking at the menace of cattle herdsmen across the country, specifically focusing on Ogun State, and with a simple question: what is Ogun doing about it? We understand that there is a law, there is a bill, sorry, not a law yet, it has to be passed. There is a bill at the State House of Assembly that is aimed at stopping this, avoiding the Benue situation, avoiding the Nasarawa, Taraba, and Adamawa situations, where villages have been destroyed to rubble, lives lost, properties, and people are fleeing in different directions. And of course, if you want to look at security reports that simply say these are criminal acts, one of the leaders of that gang has been killed, and I also want to agree with that position that rather than tagging it as an ethnic attack or religious activities of some group of people, I think it is more of a criminal menace than any other thing yet. That is why we have with us the man who is sponsoring that bill at the State House of Assembly, the member representing Ifo II State constituency, Ganiyu Oyedeji. We'll straight on open the telephone lines so that you can be part of it. Your questions, comments about what you heard our guest talked about. But let us remind ourselves of what I think is a simple rule of the game. No insult, no abuse on any individual or personality as you make your comment. It is. Thank you, morning.
I'm calling from.
Can you speak up, please?
I'm calling from a touching.
Thank you, sir.
It's a long expectation bill that the House of Assembly has just been passed. Really happy to see it. As a good citizen
It's not been passed. It's still. It has not been passed. They are still treating it.
Okay. I want them to put more effort so that that bill will be passed within some months to be done. Because these people are worrying our people in their farm, most especially along Jaga Orile, Ibaro Orile, Egwuonwu Orile, all that this area of Yewa area. Even in Ijebu, there are so many things that we are experiencing. Most especially when you are going along the Egwuonwu road, the Jaga Orile road, you see how these people are doing. They will just put their cattle on the road. Even there was an accident that was occurred about 6 months ago, last year. It's a fatal accident, and it was caused by these cattle react people. So please, God has these people to do it well, and God be with them. I really appreciate what the people are doing. God be with you, and God bless you. Thank you very much.
Okay. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Good morning to you.
Good morning.
I am Mr. Ola Kilani from Kupate.
All right, thank you, sir.
I quite appreciate what the House of Assembly is doing. I think it's another way trying to ban open grazing system. I believe it will succeed. It will be effective, provided our politicians don't use this system to cause problems among the people, to cause disturbances among the people. But I make sure that you make use of our local leaders, that's the balance, local balance, in ensuring security. That is number one. Number two is this issue. These Fulani people in East, they are known to be taking over people's land. And I believe you repose confidence in our people that such would not happen. Then another problem I have is this police, the security men. They don't present themselves at places where there are clashes early enough, unless a lot of killings had been done. I think this should be taken care of. Then, at the last, is that the land use law. How are you sure the land use law will not affect the location of these ranches later, thereby causing disharmony between the cattlemen and the government?
All right, thank you very much. The land use act. Okay, I know that's how this. Morning.
Hello, good morning, Dele.
Thank you.
Good morning, Honorable. My name is Mr. Paul Ogun. I want to commend your effort. Some of us who have more armor, we know what we face in different places. And you be honest, I don't think there's any farmer that has the guts to go and stop those farmers. They don't hate me. And I want to agree with you, Dele. You say they are criminals. They are criminals who are known to the people. They are criminals with a strong association. They are criminals respected by the government. And I don't know, it's always difficult for some state governors to build up the courage to endorse this bill. I salute your courage, and I believe, by God's grace, this bill in this state will come out to be like. Thank you. God bless you and love you.
God bless you too. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Hello, good morning, I'm here.
Good morning.
Mr. Dele and our guest, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
So please, I want you to listen to the music that you play. You know, Joe, the storm is over. Is it really over by the herdsmen? It baffles me so much. This is the time we need agriculture much. Why is it finding difficult to pass a law? Because I found out there is all these big men, that some of them that are having the cattle, that made them never pass the bill to stop these people. Because people are dying instead of the animal. And sir, I was expecting the police, local police to establish. They can still help in this kind of incident. Don't you think that is the right thing to establish them? Because if you look at the police station, they are lesser than what they're supposed to have. So the problem of Nigeria is above them. If there's a local police to join on, I found out that the case will be reduced. Have a nice day, sir.
You too. Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Yes, morning.
Yeah, good morning, my brother Dele, my sister there, and our guest.
Thank you.
I remain for Lakim.
I can only enjoy my brother there who is our guest and a member of the State House of Assembly that they should hasten, the procedure so that the passage can be true very soon. Another thing I have observed is that I know Fulani people, they are very proud. I mean, of their identity, and in some cases they have owned up or been responsible for some of the atrocities they have committed. Here at the back of my house, at least I've had encounters with them. They are Fulani. I look at those people who abducted Olufalai. They are Fulani, and even the president himself knows that they are. Oftentimes, the president of the Senate will refer to them as Fulani herdsmen, killer Fulani herdsmen. So I don't know why we are trying to be so diplomatic as to be able to cover them up. It is not necessary. Out of about 100 or more or less 1,000 media houses, only one is claiming that they are not Fulanis, they are not this. Don't forget that the countries along the coast here, even in Ghana, in whatever these West African countries, are occupied by Fulanis and Hausas. They will never hide their identity. I don't think it is necessary we hide them. It's a cover up. Thank you. Good morning.
Thank you too.
Thank you.
Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Good morning, Dele and Chienye.
Good morning.
And good morning, the resource person. My name is Shola Johnson. Yes.
Shola Johnson.
To our security men in this country, what the immigration people doing? What is the Department of DSS doing? What is the National Intelligence Agency doing? The police intelligence, military intelligence. You see, we are supposed to create a marketplace for these people at the border. If we don't want them to come into the country, let them do whatever trading they want to do at the border post, and then you allow them to go back to their country. If only they want to come in and they're from ECOWAS country, then the properly give them an ECOWAS card that they cannot stay more than 90 days to do their trading so that they will go back. But this we have not done. We don't have surveillance aircraft to stop, to go around and monitor these people where they are coming in and where they are going out. This is the bane of this country. If government has taken steps to do all this, I'm very, very sure this thing will have been minimal. Let the government be proactive and consider this project, and also let create a market post for them at the border post, at the entry post, so that it's not all of them that will be allowed into our country to start causing menace, because most of them are foreigners and not Nigerians. Good morning, Nigeria.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. What we have, I appreciate all people that have spoken. They are not a question really. They agree with us on that there is a need for this bill and the need to ensure its yearly passage. The gentleman from Itaoshi, we agree with you. We also have this information about the problem along that axis, Ishago Relay, Barrow Relay, and all those areas. And we believe that by the time we have this done, then this problem will be, will be cut. Will be a thing of the past by the grace of God. Then the man Ola Kelani from Abeokuta also talk about this issue of security, and we believe that the traditional institutions are also going to be involved, and that's why we said we don't want a situation in which these people will have their own traditional institution, whatever is given to them. They will still be subjected to whatever the traditional law that operates within where they are going to operate. What the police, we believe that the police will also do their job at the end of the day. Although actually they've been complaining that by the time people complain to the police, they are not doing some things and all that, but this law will actually make them to do something. Mr. Paul Obi, I also agree with you on the fact that these people have a strong association. Like I said when I was saying, that these people are not just illiterates and all that. They have people backing them. They have the association, and that's why we want them to also buy into whatever we are doing, so that at the end of the day they will know that the thing is going to be a win-win situation. The need for Mr. Chienye talk about the need for hastening the passage. Well, I'm using this opportunity also because for us to also pass this, we require 2/3 majority of the House. We've actually done public hearing and all. We are at the last stage, and I believe that each of us should also help tell my colleagues who are your representative in the House of Assembly that when this thing come up, they should support and let's pass the bill into law. Mr. Shola Johnson.
No, sorry, before that, Mr. Chienye also talked about cover of his position that he believed the Fulani, that particular ethnic group, have been covered or encouraged to do this.
Yes, by the power that be.
Yes. Do you also think in that line? Do you think there is a cover up? There is anybody, the media or the security of government, trying to cover that particular ethnic group? Even though I don't want to discuss ethnicity in this issue, but in just giving an answer to what he said.
Well, for me, I don't have the facts to really support that, because from what I know, that especially in Ogun State, we have a feeling that some of the people that deal in this, we have some that are even born and bred in this state. Some of them speak Yoruba fluently, and they would not want anything bad to actually also happen to where their place. So, but I agree with him in the area that we have some big men too that are also.
Yeah, that's not bad. And that big men does not stay within any particular Yorubas. Even
some of them are.
Many of these retired soldiers, that's what people or retired military men.
So to a certain extent, this issue of open grazing, some of them we support it, because when you have your cattle and all this feeding on other people's farm, you are not paying for that. You are not so. Naturally they want such thing too, because they are the one getting the profit at the end of the day. But it's not something they can come out and say that okay, we allow our cattle to go and feed on other, that's the right thing and all that, because all over the world this kind of movement is not practicable. It's something that is being stopped. So big men, strong associations and all that, I agree that maybe one ethnic group is supporting them to the other. I don't have facts to that, so I will not be able to support that area. Mr. Shola Johnson talked about maybe the need to have the market for cattle at the border. Well, that's also good. It's a brilliant one that can be done. But the surveillance or the record that we are doing, or we have factors into the bill, is that at the point of entry, like I said, we have these directorate of ranches that will take the record of these people. Even if they have to come in or they have to go out and all that, so that we know who are we dealing with, who are we talking about and all this. This has never been there, because they just come in at will, go out and so this bill, what we have is that we have it to be able to monitor them, like he said. He talk about the need to monitor them, the surveillance. That's what we've been able to do. But I agree with him, if we can have a market at the border too, and whoever want to buy can buy there, and some people can still go back. But it will not solve the problem of those who are already within and they still want to be moving from one area to the other. Thank you.
Okay, we check the message and tweets and then comments on our Facebook fan page. We have this very one from Ayodo Alex Olatunji Okolomo. Please help me ask the Honorable, how long has the bill been with the Ogun State House of Assembly? because the Yewa axes are being terrorized by the so-called Fulani herdsmen, and many of our farmers have been killed,
Quickly, how long?
raped, and even sent away.
I have it in the last 6 months. You know, I'm new. I know that the problem has been there over the years in Yewa, but I'm a first timer in the house.
How long do you think it will also stay as a bill before it becomes a law?
If with the support of my people now, anytime we meet next now, I'm sure the next thing is just to pass it. And if I get
so within the first quarter,
within the first quarter of 2018, it should become law.
Okay, for messages and from our short code dial, the cattle rearers have been so empowered to the extent that they are fully armed when they are doing their work. Why? Even the police takes their matter more serious than the farmers. Why? That's a question from Olaolu from Ijong. Then we have this one from Debo. From Debo Obe. About 50 acres of my cassava farm was completely razed down by the Fulanis. Okay, he wrote OBE here. Fulanis in the village in Alabata on the 31st of December 2017. I live in a country where there is no law. Yes, he said December 31st, 2017. That was the last day in the last month, 2017. Yeah, that's from Debo. Okay. Good morning. For proper implementation of this law, there is need for the state police because they have their people in military and government who support and protect them during the crisis and then make them untouchable. Then GMB should be bold enough to stop the killings. Okay, that's a message from Afolabi. Then Oburu P from Iliwera. The cattle herdsmen should be provided with grazing areas on time since they are important to our economy. Then the Hausa of Fulani occupy the northern part of the West African countries. They have become a majority, and the Fulanis are perpetrators who are unguarded. Diplomacy is not the answer, period. Fola Akinyemi sent in that message. Then for tweets via our Twitter handle, we got this one from Zakaria Olubayo. He tweeted, "Good morning. Ogun State government should borrow a leaf from Ekiti State on this sensitive issue. Prevention, they say, is better than cure." James Ajibade, either we call them Fulani or herdsmen. All we know is that they are cattle rearers who move about destroying farms and killing farmers. Muhyiddin Abimbola also tweeted, "Let the Ogun State government partner with the security agencies, especially the NSCDC, and provide adequate logistics for the operation to tackle herdsmen and their criminal behaviors. The NSCDC already has a unit known as Agro Rangers, which is specifically established for that assignment." That's a tweet from Muhyiddin Abimbola. Zakaria Olubayo also tweeted again, "Ogun State government should borrow a leaf from Ekiti State government." Shegun also tweeted, "Even without the lecturer's resumption, is there continued detention right?" Okay, that was from the quick takes. Thank you. Do we have a powerful law back in days and its sustainability? That's a question from Zakaria Olubayo. Is there any green light from the federal government on curbing this menace of herdsmen? Still a question from Zakaria Olubayo. And away from that one to James Ajibade, findings have shown that some people have the cattle with this herdsmen, which is why nothing tangible is done. Zakaria Olubayo also tweeted again, but why is PMB not saying anything on this issue? That's another question from him. The president once said that the killer herdsmen are foreigners, but few days ago the AIG also said they're Nigerians. Please, who is saying the truth? That's from James Ajibade. If the traditional institution fails his people, then what would happen? That's another question from Zakaria Olubayo. Surakat Abiodun, the parliament had waited too long to come up with this bill. Those people are really disturbing our people. If you go to all these villages, you'll see the damages done by these herdsmen. They should channel their grievances to appropriate quarters and stop disturbing our people. What does the Gento have to say as regards to Benue crisis? Even despite the anti-grazing law in the state, which they are proposing, there are still problems between herdsmen and farmers. Is it not high time they conduct their activities in their states and bring their cattle for sale? Surakat Abiodun is suggesting that and also asking a question. Idowu Johnson, yes, only God will save us from constituted authority. Adeneko Oluwaseun, my question is this. How does the herdsman have free and unfettered access to sophisticated weapons of war like AK-47? What is Ogun State doing about this act? Adeneko Oluwashun is still asking a question. Under the grazing law, any herdsman that is caught with arms while grazing will be charged with terrorism. Is this law effective? My question again is, how does the herdsman have free... Okay, that's still the question he tweeted earlier. Then the very last question from Adeneko Oluwashun. Are you into farming? That's a question from him. Then Surakat Ayodo tweeted again, should herdsmen even be in possession of guns in the first place? It's high time we get things right. These people are criminals, and I want the government to tag them as terrorists before a remarkable solution can be guaranteed. There are just cover-ups, and even when they are arrested by the police, what they pay the farmers is not always in agreement with what the farmer has lost. Okay, over to you. React to what has been the issues raised.
Thank you very much. Really, what some of the questions here I like, really, because like Olaolu said, the same thing with Adeneko Oluwashun on these people having access to guns, AK-47 and all that. That's we notice, and we try to accommodate that in the bill, because for you to, I mean, even when you are moving about, you are not expected to be going about with AK-47. I mean, for cattle, you only need a stick to be able to bet. We discovered that, and the necessary punishment is there in the bill for whoever we see moving about with gun or any weapon that they should not. Then for Mr. Debo, okay, well, it's unfortunate what happened to him is on 31st December. These people, like he said, they look like untouchable and all that, and that's why we are putting this law in place, so that they will know that they are not, nobody is above the law. You can't be above the law if there is a law in place. We will ensure that this one is done as quickly as possible. Mr. Zakaria talk about the need to follow the Ekiti example. That's what we are said. We are doing, like I said, our own is improvement on what has been done in Ekiti, what has been done in Benue and all that. So we believe that it will usually solve the problem. But this aspect of PM, I mean the president not doing anything. It was in the news yesterday. I think even the minister they've started doing something.
Yes, they've given presidential orders to some of the security chiefs to move in.
Yes. I know that they are also, because it's a big problem that it needs to be addressed. Mr. Muideen Abimbola talk about the need for adequate logistics. I agree with you that it's essential to be able to, I mean, get this thing done. Mr. Zakaria, whether there is any law from the federal government and all that, we all are aware that there was a time that a bill on this grazing reserve thing was mooted at the National Assembly level, but it was not really passed. And what they said is that each state should find a way of taking care of how they want this thing to be done at each of the states, and that is what is being done in all the states. Mr. Surakat Abiodun from talk about we have the problem in Benue State. I mean, we have the law in Benue State, and we still continue to have the crisis. My belief is that with what and the effort we put into this bill, we will not have the Benue experience in Ogun State. I mean, by the grace of God. So we already have, like I said, an improvement on what you have in other states as far as this law is concerned. Mr. Adenekon Oluwase, okay, he's also talking about the issue of AK-47. Why are they having free access to all these things? Is a problem, and also tell us about the kind of people that are behind them and all that, because most of these people, if they don't have all this backing, where would they? Some of them are criminal, like you rightly said. I mean, the cattle rearing is one thing, but getting involved in all the criminal activity is another thing entirely. And the last one that talk about whether am I into farming? Yes, I'm into farming too, and I don't want this where you get one day and then
all you see is
so that is it. Thank you very much.
Okay, we'll keep sending the messages. In the meantime, we'll return to the telephone lines.
My name is Godfrey.
All right, thank you, Godfrey.
The federal Senate labor, the state Senate labor, they are taking law to favor themselves, not to favor the farmers. Thousands of farmers got died when Fulani killed. It is not the want to pass the bill. At that time, he is there more than 3 years because he's not a farmer. And he's hearing what is going on every day. If you go after Lama, all the villagers that be right, Fulani don't drag them. Now they take over the Ogun with their goal. You will see each of them with the goal with their wife and children. No one is not taking against them. Because they are from Fulani, you praise that is from Fulani, the government is for them.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much, Godfrey. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Dele.
Morning.
Yeah, good morning, our guest.
Good morning.
Yes, my name is Tunde Omolaolu. I am calling from Abeokuta. Yes. This issue of cattle area and what have you, it has come to a situation whereby we must find another solution. Recently, we have some of these people they entrench into an investor farm that is something good in Abeokuta, especially in Ogun State. Sorry, along Pompo village, but I really actually, about 500 cattle enter that soya-based farm that have already been harvested and destroyed this farm. More than 12 million naira when we said. They even dealt with the security personnel there, beat them up. Every attempt by the owner of the farm called James Ford Agri-Ventures were nothing to write about. Nothing good came out of their report area. So what are we talking about? So let the security people, especially the community heads,
Hello.
All right. We only had just one call. Check the messages, and we say goodbye for the day.
Good morning.
Morning.
Morning, my brother Dele. Good morning, my sister.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Yesterday, I'm kind of from Abeokuta. You see, since the time is almost up now, my thinking now is that probably we have not been able to know the herdsmen that we always call Fulani herdsmen. Their trips are not to possess guns or whatever before now. What we all know them for is to undo a long stick and then undo or whatever saddle their cows, whichever terms you want to use. But now they have been invented to kill, to maim, and all sorts of that. And I want you to see it. Can you confirm as of today, sir? The reason for overpowering people or killing them in whatever disguise or all states they are in now, is it for them to be able to attain that caliphate, whatever they are thinking of, in most of the states they are going or parading themselves, or what? Because I see that our leaders could not behave like a courageous explorer any longer. Instead of probably proclaiming them like they did for IPOB, they have been asking for this, they kept silent and then they are not doing anything. Look at our president today. He's traveling to Abia instead of going to where they killed those and displaced them from their places of abode. We are so worried, and these are the people we voted for.
2 minutes, sir.
Unfortunately, we have...
messages. That's the last call.
Sure.
We thank everybody. Messages, please.
Okay, we have
Let's
this
add the
message.
messages. And then
We got this one from Ikechukwu Olisa. May the souls of the innocent citizens who lost their lives in the hand of those criminal gang rest in perfect peace. This is not the matter of sitting down and passing a bill. It's too late to pass any bill or make any law because those herdsmen have already made up their minds and declared a war on the citizens. I think this is the time they should make a move rather than what they are doing now. That's from Ikechukwu Olisa. The steps being taken by the Ogun State House of Assembly is laudable. One just hopes that the process will be sped up and it won't end up in the trash bin like some other before this. Beyond this, the campaign and protest against the menace of the herdsmen should be a national one so as to solve the problem holistically and in all the states in the country. They are becoming a threat to our national existence. The earlier they are curbed, the better for us all. Dr. Chris Amotosho sent in that message. Then Rashida Falabi is asking this question: can't we promulgate a law establishing grazing land to permanently confine the cattle to their domain? And then lastly, from the short code dial, okay, still a message from Rashid Afolabi. Then for the tweets via the Twitter handle, we got this one from Akorede Camille. The issue of the herdsmen attacking farming communities happens everywhere with Ogun State inclusive, and people from Yewa axis are the ones bearing most of the brunt of these herdsmen. While in the wait for the bill, we can make use of the security agents. Yemi Phillips Da Vinci. Sir, I would like to ask if there is a framework for Vigilante Service Organization of Ogun State to enforce this bill when it becomes a law. I think they will be more effective in its implementation. I do not trust the police. That's from Yemi Da Vinci. There is still from Yemi Da Vinci. I want to commend the lawmaker for bringing this bill. I have known about killer herdsmen, especially in Egbado axis, for decades. Ismail Oloyede also tweeted, the narratives about the menace of the killer herdsmen has always been a controversial one, and it might remain so for many years to come. However, just like Professor Shibaju had rightly said, we must be very careful not to attach the sentiments of ethnicity nor politicize it. Then from Akorede Camille still, can we know what the contents of the bill are and when is it likely to be read?
You didn't join us.
We had already said that.
You didn't join us at the beginning.
Surakat Abiodun, do you think it's high time these people are tagged as terrorists? I want the parliamentarian to react to all that as well. Taiwo Tolulope, I want to know what necessitated the bill in Ogun State, because with this law not provoke the Fulanis like the case in Benue, does the bill have the herdsmen impute? Then we have this from Yemi Da Vinci. It is insanity that a nation of 180 million people will have its meat industry that turns over billions of naira daily in the hands of nomadic people. Okay?
No, I think we can just stop there so that there's time for him. Just 2 minutes to do that.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Lakule, talk about these people are not the owner. I agree with him. Like I said, we know that we have some personality that are behind them or the owner of some of these things, but some of them actually have a ranch, and it will not be, none of them will be able to come out and say, okay, I give AK-47 to the people. They are to have a stick, not AK-47. And with this bill, some of these problems will be eating up the pipe. Godfrey asked whether I am a farmer. I think I've said that I am, and maybe it's better late than not. We had having it, and I'm sure that in this first quarter it will become it will be passed by the House. Tunde Omolaolu talk about the problem in Ibara, Orile, and where about 500 cattle or what the security agencies they are to do their job, and from what we are doing or we are also put in place, I'm sure that they will be forced to do that, and the community heads too will also be part of this, and that's why I said that we still recognize wherever we have as a community head to continue to be a community wherever the ranches is located. Mr. Kayode talk about the caliphate issue. I've heard a lot about that, even though I'm not totally agree with that caliphate issue, whether the is an expansion they want to take over Ogun State like they did and all that. Well,
let me say, I think those are
just more
propaganda.
Way of
that's what we don't want to encourage, because it will blindfold you from what the real issue, the real problem.
So we are there to really solve the problem, not to talk about.
I'm sorry, we will not be able to go beyond this point. Several things. Don't worry. The open days. We will continue with this. Like I said, it's a pointed national security issue that everybody must join hands to look for the solution wherever we can have it, either practical, theoretical, in law, or in its implementation. Again, I thank the member representing Ifo II State constituency, Ganiyu Oyedeji, for joining us. Thank you so much. And of course, to all of you, yes, you've always made the program tick. I say God bless you all. God bless Nigeria and God bless Rock City. Dele Ayodo is my name.
And I am Chienye. Well, let's ensure that this is contained so it won't be Nigeria's worst nightmare. Good morning.